Hello, and welcome back to Walk and Talk with God. I'm Pauline, and this is Corey, my husband, my companion in walking. Now, today we'll be talking about wrath, the seven deadly sins, the last one. So, before I start, I would like to tell you about this place, why I chose it. This is Diamond Valley Lake, and it is open for the public for a fee to walk the trails during springtime with the wildflowers. And I chose it because it's so calming, so beautiful, and I've been wanting to do this forever. We've never done it before, and this is our first time. We love it. It's beautiful with all the wildflowers and the lake, and of course today is a perfect weather for this. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's just perfect. So let us begin. Now let's start with pride. Remember when I put out my first video of the seven deadly sins? It was pride. And notice which month I put it on. It was in June, last June. And why did I do that? Well, look it up. You'll know why. Now, did you know that pride is the mother of all sins? Yes, it is the worst. Now, pride, it got me a couple months ago, and it made sense to me why I had to connect it with wrath. Now, I have taken some pictures and I blew them up into canvas and I put them up on walls, and I'm very proud of what I've done. And we had someone come over our house and saw the pictures, and my husband took credit by saying that he has taken these pictures and I hung them up on the walls, turned them into canvas. Now that made me mad, made me so mad. How dare he take credit for something I have done? And then I was going to correct him right there and there, but I stopped. Why did I stop? I thought about it. How did that make me feel? It made me feel mad. Now, why am I talking about the other sins since this video is about wrath? Well, let me explain. The other sins connect to wrath. The other sins like envy, gluttony, sloth. Well, when you're envious of someone, you get mad. When you're gluttonous, you get mad at yourself. When you're lazy, sloth, you also get mad at yourself. It all ties up. Envy. Well, here's one thing about envy and me. I didn't want to admit it, but I was envious of Corey when he had that dream of Jesus telling him he was saved. Yes, I thought, why did he have that dream and I didn't? Although, when I thought about it, I did have a dream that Jesus told me that he chose me to go tell everyone about him. All the sins lead to anger. When you have anger in your heart, there will be no room left for love and God, because God is love. Now let me go back to envy. The other day I watched an episode of The Chosen. If you haven't watched it yet, please go and watch it. It's really good. Now, this episode was about Peter. Peter was hurting. He had a problem with his wife, and they were hurting. She lost a baby, and he wondered, why is Jesus helping everyone else but not him and his wife? He was so angry with Jesus. He was so angry that he didn't care that he was doing all these miracles, helping people. Why is he just helping other people and not him? Well, at the end, Jesus showed him that there is a reason. There's always a reason for everything. So I do understand this, because I've seen a lot of people feel the same way. Why are we sick? Why is my mother sick and died? Why did my brother die of cancer? Why didn't God help him, heal him? Well, there's always a reason. You just have to wait, because God works on his own time. Now, some people might think that their sins are way too deep and there's no going back to God. Well, there is a way. You need to cleanse your soul by confession. Now, some people might think that, well, I sold myself to the devil and I'm done. No, your soul cannot be sold, because it is not yours to sell. Now, there's another thing. Social media. Social media, it brings out or creates the sins, whether it's envy, gluttony, wrath, lust, and so on. It creates it. So you might think about it and stay off social media. Now, other than social media, I believe alcohol, drugs can contribute to or lead us to the 7 deadly sins. It weakens your soul, and it leads us to believe the lies of Satan. Now that we have established that the other sins leads us to anger, which is wrath, the 7th deadly sin, now we know how to handle it, how to control it. The thing is, when you're angry, you cannot have love in your heart. When you're angry, you push God away. And the more you push God away, the angrier you get. So let's just stop and say a little prayer and think about why we're angry, and be thankful instead for what we have. Also, when you have anger in your heart, you lose your faith. Now, we also need to talk about fear. Fear, is it caused by anger, or anger is caused by fear? I don't know, whichever it is. What it does, it makes you start losing faith. And you do not want to lose faith. Now remember what Jesus said. As long as you have faith as small as a mustard seed, then you have hope that God is always with us to help us, to be there for us. As small as a mustard seed. Always have faith. I want to go back to fear. Now, let's talk about what's going on in this world right now. Everything is creating fear. Look around you. Look what's happening to our children. Look what's happening to our world. It is causing fear in everyone. Is there going to be war? Is there going to be hunger? What is causing all this? So, there's something I would like to talk about that happened to me a long time ago. And I do believe I mentioned that I was born in Lebanon. And in the mid-70s, there was a civil war. Now, at first, it was okay. There was nothing to fear. But as it got worse, then that it was very scary. Now, I know the whole time God was with us, protecting us from all the missiles and the bombs all around. He truly did protect us and kept us safe. But it was still scary. And that fear that gripped us, that are we going to live or die? But I'm here today to tell you this story. So, as I watched what happened in Lebanon, I feel like I'm reliving it right now. It seems like what happened in Lebanon in the 70s, it's happening again. And that is causing even more fear in me. Yes, I always say we are living in the United States of America, the greatest country on earth. But is it possible that could happen here too? I hope not. But you just can't help have that feeling of fear, thinking that it might happen again. So the other day, I was sitting in my chair thinking about it, and I felt like this fear was so strong. It's almost immobilizing. And that's when I heard God's voice telling me, if I watched over you, took care of you back then, what makes you think I will not do it again? And that's when I felt relief. All that fear just went away. Now everyone knows about the wrath of God. Now, is that a sin? No, it's not. The only reason there is a wrath of God is when His own children are doing something bad, something so stupid to harm themselves that He gets mad. He gets mad that they are hurting each other. They're hurting our children, His own children. So yes, He will admonish these people who are hurting His children. Children are so precious. And that concludes our 7 deadly sins. I do hope you enjoyed our walk today, and I will see you soon.